Hello, I'm going to tell you the story of Peter and the Timberwolf. This is a story I wrote based on the original Peter and the Wolf, which has music that goes with it. So the music also goes with my version, Peter and the Timberwolf. The characters in my version are the little bird, the duck, the cat, Peter himself, the hero. I have a grandmother instead of a grandfather. And then there are the hunters and of course the anti-hero, the wolf. And all of these are represented by different instruments of the orchestra. The little bird is represented by the flute, the duck by the oboe, the cat by the clarinet, and grandmother by the bassoon. All those are woodwind instruments. The wolf, the anti-hero, is represented by 3 French horns, brass instruments. Peter is represented by all the instruments of the string section of the orchestra, violin, viola, cello and double bass, and the gunshots of the hunters by the drums. So I'm going to tell you the story with the music. Here we go. "Hello," says Peter, "hello world," and he opens up the gate. This is a day for adventure, and Peter cannot wait. The forest is hiding behind the field. It's deep and dark in there. But this is the day of the brightest sun. There's magic in the air. "Morning, Peter! Morning, Peter!" sings Bertie the bird on high. "I can look down on the world up here. I'll tweet you from the sky." "So, what do you see, my feathered friend?" calls Peter from down below. "Just field and forest," Bertie replies, "and clouds that come and go." Peter grins and goes on his way for a day that's packed with fun. A day for exploring and making camps. The day of the brightest sun. And then there appears a fat white duck, waddling and poddling by, and Bertie the bird says not a word. But Peter and Duck say hi. And suddenly all is silent. Even the grass is still. Even the basking butterflies. And the sheep that graze on the hill. And the leaves on the trees hardly move in the breeze. It's totally calm. Until the duck and the bird pick a pointless fight with a beak and a quacking bill. It's Bertie who starts the argument with, "Lazy old duck needs sucking," and the duck in a flap runs forward then back, angrily quacking and quacking. Bertie says swimming is easy peasy, just going round and around, and Duck replies, Swimming is cooler by far than hopping along on the ground, and that makes Bertie really cross. I'm not just a hopper, I also fly. And Duck says, really? Do you? Well, now that you mention it, so do I. And arguing on and on like this, they don't hear Cat come creeping by. And Cat thinks, great, a nice little bird, too busy by far to notice me. Creepity creep, I'm ready to pounce before he can fly to the tree. Watch out! Peter shouts, watch out, Bertie Bird, watch out, there's a cat over there. And Bertie goes whoosh with a beat of his wings and flies up high in the air. Meanwhile, the duck swims around and around, cautiously eyeing the cat. And Cat, with a purr, starts preening her fur. I actually much prefer a rat. Then out of the house comes Grandma. She's wearing a face like thunder. Peter, a wolf might come out of the woods. And who'd be his lunch, I wonder? Huh, thinks Peter. There's no way a wolf would stray out here in the sun. He turns to his Gran. You said I could play. You said that today would be fun. Forget it, says Grandma, striding off. Come now, before it's too late. We can go to the park. We can go out for tea. But first, I'm locking the gate. As Peter turns to follow his Gran, he can't believe what he sees. A timber wolf comes out from the trees, and the world all around seems to freeze. There's a beating of wings and a scratching of claws, and the cat scrambles up in the tree. And out of the pond jumps the terrified duck, as afraid as a duck can be. And she waddles and poddles and tries to escape, but the legs are not long on a duck. And she's losing her lead as the wolf gathers speed, thinking, "Duck, what a great piece of luck!" And Peter and Birdie and Cat watch in horror as Wolf cries, "Yummy, yum, yum," and swallows the duck in a great big gulp from his mouth straight down to his tongue. So, Bertie is perched on a branch of the tree. On another, the cool cat lies, while Wolf stalks around and around the tree, staring up with his big greedy eyes. And this is the scene. This is the setting, full of twitters, meows, and sighs. Now Peter's thoughts are bubbling away after all that he's seen and heard. An idea is racing around in his head about saving the cat and the bird. And all the way home, as he follows his gran, he works on his plan, full of hope. Peter's determined to catch the wolf. He just needs a very strong rope. In no time at all, he's back with the rope and climbing the old stone wall. Then he spreads out his arms and shakily walks, taking care not to slip or fall. He gets to the tree and reaches across for the branch that's jutting out. Then grabbing it carefully, swings himself up and tries not to rock about. "Bertie," says Bertie, "Peter, can you fly down and circle around the wolf's head?" "With luck," explains Peter. "The wolf won't watch me. He'll be looking at you instead." So Bertie flies down and flutters and flits, regarded throughout by the cat, and does a great job of distracting the wolf, who snaps from this side and that. Peter starts talking under his breath. "Mr. Wolf, this is for you," as down goes the rope. But it's not just a rope, it is now the perfect lasso. And the bird is so close that the wolf thinks, "Yes, I can swallow him all in a bite." But Peter has managed to catch the wolf How the wolf jumps, how the wolf leaps, all the time pulling the noose. But tied to the tree, the rope becomes tighter the more the wolf tries to break loose. At that very moment, some hunters appear, looking from left to right. But Peter calls loudly, "Wolf can't escape! Don't shoot! He's tied up tight!" Let's do some body percussion. What about this? Here come the gunshots. More body percussion. Backs of hands. And here come more gunshots, warning shots. Now the hunters and Bertie and Peter and Cat know exactly what to do. They form a triumphant procession and off they go to the zoo. Now in a moment we're going to do some echo claps. That means that whatever I say and clap, you echo it back to me and say the same words. So get ready. Here comes the first one. Ready to copy me? Peter and the Timber Wolf. Your turn. Tweet, tweet, Bertie bird. Poddle, waddle, fat white duck. Now conduct. See if you can imitate me conducting. We're conducting in 4 time. 1, 2, 3, 4, because that's what the piece is written in. Let's conduct with 2 hands. Now get ready to do some more echo claps. Here they come. Not just a hopper, I also fly. Now that you mention it, so do I. Now that you mention it, so do I. Watch out, a cat. Watch out, a cat. Gathering pace, it's Thunderface. Gathering pace, it's Thunderface. She's locking the gate. She's locking the gate. Here comes the wolf. Here comes the wolf. Scary. Scary. Remember how to do the 2-handed conducting in 4 time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Get ready for more echoes. Peter and Birdie caught the wolf. Don't shoot, he's tied up tight. They don't. Peter is first, Cat is next, though she keeps trying to get ahead. Then it's the hunters leading the wolf. Then Grandma, her cheeks all red. I knew that a wolf would come out of the woods. I knew it, remember? I said. One hand, two hands. The triumphant procession. Oh, you can clap. Or do any kind of body percussion. Above them flies Bertie, tweeting away. En route, about to arrive. Who caught the wolf? We caught the wolf. Yo, Peter. Thumbs up. High five. Is that the end, I wonder? Oh no. And now, listen carefully. Can you hear this? It's the duck. She was swallowed alive. This really is the end coming up. We'll clap faster and 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 faster. And that is the end of the story of Peter and the Timberwolf. Or at least that's where I've ended it. You could carry on if you want, because look at the last page of the book. And the book is written with some colour illustrations and some which deliberately haven't been coloured in so that you could colour them in yourself. But look at this other wolf on the page. She's looking at our wolf very adoringly, and that's because she really likes him. And I think they might get married and have a baby. And what you could do now is try and think of a name for that baby, but it's got to begin with W, W, because W is the first letter of wolf, and we're going to make it alliterative. Alliteration means if you have two or more words side by side that start with the same letter. So you've got to think of a name like Wilbur or Wilfred or Wilhelmina or Winnie that also begins with a W. And I'm sure you can think of many more fascinating names than that. And you can also think of a word to go in between the name and the word wolf. So instead of just Wilhelmina the wolf, it could be Wilhelmina the wicked wolf or Wilhelmina the wise wolf. And I'm sure you could think of many others. And that could be the whole beginning of a start of a new story all about the baby wolf. So I hope you have fun doing that. It's been lovely to tell you the story. Goodbye, everybody.